The Anglophone crisis has been 7 years counting now. The peace-loving people in the northwest and the southwest region have seen some of their villages attacked, schools and hospitals burnt down, colleges destroyed, hundreds of kidnap cases recorded, hundreds of arbitrary arrests also recorded, businesses destroyed by the belligerent. As we speak, the situation in some localities are kind of serious, whereas in other localities, normalcy is returning. However, the case is, key stakeholders who have the power to resolve the conflict, who have the might to arrest the situation, are trading insult against each other. They are accusing and counter-accusing against each other. And this reminds me of Matthew chapter 10 verse 21, which read that brothers will turn against their fellow brothers. Success is recorded so far with the translation of the Ohada law to English, the creation of the common law bench in the Supreme Court, as well as also the redistribution of teachers and the recruitment of 1,000 bilingual science teachers across the nation. That the achievements have been recorded with the granting of presidential amnesty and pardon to some people who have actually caused harm against the state. A lot of these are achievements pointed out by some school of thought that has been achieved since the crisis started in the northwest, in the southwest region. However, another school of thought is of the opinion that regardless of the accelerated decentralization, which was actually decentralization in 1996, and after the Anglophone, within the context of the Anglophone crisis, it was baptized to accelerated decentralization, to this school of thought that all what I have enumerated and some which I'm yet to enumerate are cosmetic solutions, regardless of how they call it. What do you think, based on your own opinion, have been achieved so far since the crisis started between the 2016 and the 2022 that we are counting? Do you think that something meaningful has been achieved? And what is that way forward which we can arrest the situation? For sure, the common man in the northwest and southwest region, regardless of different localities, from Kumfudu, from Agwekun German, from Wangai, from whatever, right up to Kikaikilaiki, from Anya Lewo, right down to Yekondo Titi, Indian, Banga Bakundu, the common man, the one word that they want to hear is peace. They want peace to return and normalcy to return so that they can go about their activities. But what do you think have been achieved to bring this peace that is so much desired by the common man? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Javis. You're welcome back from that transition. If you are watching us, it is House of Commons, which is brought to you here by My Media Prime Television at Fengru Bange, Cameroon's commercial capital. In the studio, we had invited 4 main personalities. A member of the Social Democratic Front who will be joining us in the context of Mr. Suleiman, who will be joining us, and also a member of the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement, the CPDM, who is Mr. Kimbeng Vitalis, who is also around. He says he's around the studio. He will be joining us because of traffic. Also, we have also invited Mr. Ignatius Temeng, Mr. Ignatius, who will be joining us. Here in the studio, we have Mr. Innocent Baruzil, who is a teacher and someone who is familiar with it.
And from Mutengene to Kumba, I realized that the government has been heeding to our advice, and I did not see any military man on the road. Even in Kumba, I stayed there for 2 days, and there was no military man. But just after I came back, one of my friends, as he was coming back, he was kidnapped by the voices in the bush. So, meaning that now the government is struggling to play their own part, but these guys, some guys, are bent on that this crisis will not come to an end because they are feeding fat on the crisis. Yeah, so in the course of the program, we'll try to see what the government has achieved and what the Anglophone has achieved because of this crisis. So thank you for inviting me, and happy Sunday to you and my fellow fellow panelists.
Happy Sunday. Thanks also. We have Mr. Ignatius. Mr. Ignatius, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Javis. Happy Sunday, Mr. Kimbang and Mr. Barozi. I'm happy to be with you today. I'm also happy to send greetings to those of you who are watching at us here today. And I think that your question concerning the achievement of the crisis, I would not like you to say that a war has ever achieved anything positive. But anyway, we cannot cancel it at all. I want to put the consequences in two ways. There are achievements at the level of individuals. Some people individually have achieved something from the crisis. Why, as a nation, we have not achieved anything? We have but losses. On the side of individuals, there are people who have been appointed in the government into certain prestigious posts just because of the crisis. And then there are people who are using the crisis as a business, and then they are making money. And then there are also people, not only business, there are people who are using the crisis to blackmail others. Like, for example, I know about one hotel here in Douala where the owner is in the US. He constructed the hotel. He has many correspondents, so that it's these guys from abroad, when they are coming here, they come and stay there. Anytime the military, the hillocks, will storm the hotel, since they know that it is Anglophone who are mostly the customers there. Anytime they come there and see any person from abroad, they will pick you and go away and say that you are the people sponsoring the crisis. You see there, you know that when it concerns the crisis, when those guys pick you, and they are the only, if you resist to give them money, they will forward you. You can find yourself in accordingly, because they are the one to write a report about you and send to their superior. They will not listen to you, they will listen but to their report. So you see, there are so many ways that people are feeding fat. Individually, people are feeding fat, just like Barozi said. But as a nation, I would not like you. The consequences, I don't know whether in 30 years we are going to repair them. Now like this, communities have decided they are divided. Before 2016, we have been having this Fulani farmers conflict. That was just, it was not really that way. The crisis came and worsened the situation. People are really divided. And now you see some regions going against the other one. All these words, Francophone, Anglophone, you see phony names. People are really, they are really divided. Then two laws are existing in a country. A country with that has a law. You believe that there are laws, other laws that are functioning. The last weekend I was in the Northwest. I realized that the law that has been imposed by these guys, that they don't want the CEMAC number plate, has been respected, even the authorities. I say no number plate is existing, which means that two laws are existing in the country. But we are not happy to see that. The problem is that the government should listen to the advice given by the civil society or any Cameroonian, okay, and apply it so that things should not go. Because as it is going, it is delivering evil babies are being delivered. So if the government thinks that it is only from those who are authorities and maybe some members of the ruling party that the government can listen to them to apply, we have to know that many evil babies are going to be delivered as time is going.
Thank you very much, Ignatius. Here in the studio we have Mr. Kimbeng, who is a member of the Cameroon People Democratic Movement, CPDM. Mr. Kimbeng, a happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Javis. It's my pleasure to be here today. I want to also thank the viewers that are listening to us. And I think that we have a good topic and we shall be exhausting the topic at least, so that those who are watching us will be able to learn one or two things from what we are going to discuss here.
I'll begin the program with you today by asking the first question. We are counting 7 years since the conflict started in the Northwest and the Southwest region. Before, the people of the Northwest and Southwest region, and up to date, are known for peace-loving. What do you think has been achieved since this crisis started from 2016?
Yeah, sincerely, if we sit here and we say that we have achieved anything, I think we are making a mistake. Since from the day this crisis started, It has been pain from one place to another. There has been destruction from one place to another. And I want to believe that the pain is not on one-sided. While the separatists are also suffering pains, the children that are killed in the northwest and southwest are separatists. They are all our children, Cameroonian children. The soldiers that are killed in the northwest and southwest, they are also our children. So I think if we say we have achieved anything as a nation, then we are making an error. And I want to believe that, like one of my panelists has said, there are people that have benefited from this crisis individually, but that notwithstanding, we cannot take that one as an achievement, because there are dishonest people who have taken this crisis as a source of income, which is very, very bad. I want to believe that as a nation, we have gone back, let's say, more than 20 years behind. Because if you go to the northwest and the southwest now, you discover that many schools have not been operating. We have more illiterates. We have people have been displaced. They are in various towns. Some of the girls who are not able to make it, they have become prostitutes all over the national territory, which we cannot count as an achievement. So I think it is, I call it a senseless war. I've always been calling it a senseless war because it's a war that does not have a war front. And we have our villages, some villages have been burned down, some people have exiled, and it is really, really bad. And you know that many people who are operating, big business people, they have all escaped from the war-torn areas and they have gone to other places. What I can say is that you look at it somehow, it seems that the French-speaking part of Cameroon, maybe they have an upper hand as far as if we want to weigh the game. When we discover that the French part of Cameroon, they have an upper hand if we are counting the game, because most of our brothers and sisters from the northwest and southwest, they have all run here, and their house rent have gone up, school fees have gone up, more schools are being constructed here, more houses are being constructed here, whereas in the northwest and southwest, it is a reverse. And I think this is not the time we should say, I'm SDF, I'm CPDM. This is a time that all of us as Cameroonians, we should be thinking a way forward, because the pain does not differentiate. The pain does not know whether you are SDF or CPDM or not. So I think that this is a time that we as Cameroonians to sit down and really rethink and really see how we can build a nation. There is no house without a problem, but the end result is what matters. We can still construct a Cameroon where everybody will live in peace. We can still construct a Cameroon where everybody will be satisfied. But I think this is the time we should start thinking about it.
But you raised a series of issues. First of all, you said we cannot for sure see any meaningful achievement has been recorded as a nation.
Yes.
But we have members of government, top elite from the northwest and the southwest region, who say that, oh, you know what, the crisis, yes, first of all, we started by saying there's no Anglophone crisis, there's no Anglophone problem. Of prominent elite, I don't want to go by the party line, prominent elite.
Yes.
But at one point in time, the head of state acknowledged that there is a problem. And this same person who said there was no problem were sent to go and solve the problem that the head of state said there was no problem. And this same person are telling us that there have been meaningful achievement since the head of state acknowledged that there is a problem, ranging from one, that there is a creation of a bilingualism commission to look into the issue of bilingualism, to the translation of the Ohada law from English to French, from French to English, as also that achievements have been recorded so far with the acceleration now of decentralization, which was instituted in 1996, that the pace is accelerating. And they will tell us that there's a creation of the House of Chiefs. You, who is also an Anglophone and a Cameroonian, you used to stand by what you say, that nothing has been achieved despite what I have read to you articulated by some members of your party who say that nothing has been achieved. Like I said, the creation of the House of Chiefs, the Ohada law, as well as the bilingualism commission. Do you still stand by that?
Mr. Javis, I don't think that we can count those things as achievement, because when you look at decentralization, the law on decentralization was voted in 2000 and it should be more than a decade ago.
1996?
In 1996. And after, we cannot say that after people have died, because we are counting around 3,000 people who have died, including civilian, military, and
more than. It should be more than.
It should be more than.
Because as of 2018, that was official figures from the UN,
yes.
3,000, but we have had a lot of unreported cases and other cases.
Yes. So we cannot, because I think we were more at, we were enjoying Cameroonian better than we are enjoying it now. Before the crisis, we were enjoying Cameroon more than we are enjoying it now. At first, I could move to my village at night, at any time, and I come back. So if the crisis has gone on and they say they have appointed some few people and we count that achievement, for me, I don't see it as an achievement. Achievement should be something that everybody should enjoy, even the lay person. If somebody has been appointed as a director, I don't think that we can count that as an achievement for the Anglophone. What we are counting as achievement for the Anglophone is what all the Anglophones can benefit as a people, or what all Cameroonians can benefit as a people.
So you are saying,
when it narrows down to individual achievement, I don't think that is an achievement for the nation.
So you are accusing these same persons who say these things are achievement as lying to Anglophones?
That is a personal opinion. That's their personal opinion. I cannot say they lie. That's their own personal opinion. But for my own opinion, I think that when we talk about achievement, it should be something that everybody should enjoy of it. If somebody is appointed a director and there is somebody in Akko subdivision who does not feel the impact, I don't think that that's an achievement. Achievement should be something that it will go to all the nooks and crannies.
Better still, you are accusing these same persons of not being consistent with reality on the ground.
It depends on the own statistics that they take. I travel to the Northwest every
But these are members of your party.
Yes. When it comes to lives, as I said here, when it comes to lives, we should be very objective. We should not be like, because you are a member of the ruling party, you should give people false impression. People should be able to give the head of state, if we love him as members of the CPDM, we should give him the reality on the ground so that he can know how he takes his decision. If you come and lie so that to impress the president, I don't think that you love this nation. We should be factual. When you go to the field and you meet the facts, come and present it and you have seen it. But what has been happening? People keep on blaming President Paul Biya for not doing this, not doing that. Maybe because people feed him with wrong information. Being a member of the party does not mean that you should lie to him. You should impress him by lying. We should face facts. We should give him the facts that are on the ground.
The way you sound, many may want to think that you are not a CPDM.
It's not like that. Militancy go with conscience. You go with your conscience. You will not through your conscience because you want to be a member of a party. I think we should be speaking the truth.
Okay.
If we present the truth to the head of state, he will take a decision that will go in favor of us.
As a nation.
As a nation.
Okay. We have just been joined by Saliki Sulaiman, who is from Kumba, what is known as Ground Zero. These are the people who live the daily reality, move through Meme, right up to where we are in Douala. Mr. Sulaiman is of the Social Democratic Front, those who stood firm from the creation of the party and sustaining the party and flying the flag of the Social Democratic Front in Kumba is concerned. He has been very objective and critical as far as handling the Anglophone crisis is concerned. Mr. Sulaiman, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. A pleasure being here.
We want to thank Allah, the most merciful and the most compassionate, the creator of the fourth heavens, for bringing you safe to Douala.
Inshallah.
What has been achieved so far as this crisis is concerned? You have witnessed this crisis since it started in 2016, and you have traveled across Africa, and you have a rich experience in knowing how crises were handled, especially the Nigerian Biafra Civil War, which lasted just for 3 years. And this one we are counting 7 years.
Yeah, what I would say is that the crisis in real terms have achieved little or nothing. It has not achieved anything, because all what we know is that it has succeeded in awakening the consciousness of the Anglophone. It's making you to know some of your rights and the limits of your right. And we not allow people to trample on it carelessly because he's this person or that person. But all I know is that the Anglophone crisis has brought awareness and consciousness into the minds of the Anglophones. That now they know their rights and the limits of their right, and it cannot be trampled carelessly. For example, this is started in 2016. It started in 2016. You had the consortium, Then you had that was the teachers and the lawyers. You see, they were sending francophone teachers to come and teach anglophone children with no or little background of English. So they protested until all that it has stopped. Now sending us anglophone teachers to teach our children. Again, they brought the civil law magistrate into common law courts to come and adjudicate. Which is, these are two diametrically opposite, on parallel lines. They don't meet. The civil law and the common law does not meet at all. But the one that brought magistrate in common law courts to be adjudicating, they protested, and that one too has ended. Now we have magistrates of anglophone background, of common law background, adjudicating in our court system in the anglophone region. I think that one is we can say to some extent that one too is a success. But again, apart from that, all those other cosmetic and window dressing that they introduced, bilingualism and multicultural commission, demobilization and integration commission, so-called, they call it social status by creating regional councils with little or no powers, with the governor holding a whip, telling you that you have to go this way, you have to go this way. If you aid, they bring you to order. So you see, I think, Mr. David, to be frank, this crisis has not actually changed the basic fundamental background for which it started. The problems are still there and they're compounding themselves. People have died. More than 6,000 Anglophones have died. This is the color record I got from the United Nations. 6,000 Anglophones have died. And you see, and yet to no avail. Up to now, the crisis is persisting. No way forward, no way out, no map roads. People are just there suffering. Propaganda machineries are in their own. I mean, this thing I have told you several times, Javis. If we want this thing to come to stop, there are two options. One, make an Anglophone the president of this country. You will say this thing will stop. It will stop or it will reduce drastically. And two, let's go for genuine and objective dialogue. No perambulating, no hypocrisy. Not you calling for dialogue. You determine the discussion. You determine the outcome. Allow people to air out their views. Look at what even the Southwest delegation of Norway came. They said they want federalism. It was rejected completely. It wasn't even discussed at the floor. We were there. It was not even disclosed at the floor of the house. So I think, to some extent, if people say, if you say, because when I saw the topic, you said successes, I say, I was really, I was baffled. I said, but successes, when people are still dying, houses are still being burnt. What are the successes there? Absolutely, there's nothing successful, if not that the awareness and consciousness in the minds of Anglophone has come into open.
Okay, you are of the mobilization, the disarmament and demobilization was recorded. Do you still stand by what you say that we need dialogue? What context of dialogue are you insinuating, or your party?
Let me tell you something. First of all, every CPD militant here is a pretender. There's no genuine. There's no genuine. No. I'm telling you, there is no genuine CPD militant. All of them are pretenders. He who pays the piper dictates the tune.
You can say some of them are pretenders, not everybody.
All of them are pretenders.
No bother.
No matter how highly placed you are, you know the truth. No matter how highly placed you are, you know the truth. You don't want to say the truth because you know maybe you have a position here or you have a position there, or you are investigating that you're going to have something in the future. Now you start dancing. They beat the drum for you. You bafia dance for front, for back, for before, for back. Every CPDM militant, with exception of few, majority of them are pretenders. Yes. They pretend that they're with the party because they know what they are going to have out of that party, but not that they are there with true conscience, with true intention. No, Mr. Davis, it's not correct. That one is absolutely false. Let me tell you something. You see, the system is so bad that there's nothing you can do. You see, it's so bad that, you see, local councils are having their meeting, the SDO is there with the whip, delegating the movement. You don't cross the line. The regional council are there with the meeting, the governor is there with the whip. You don't cross the line. If you cross the line, they bring you to order. Because they say, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. They give the money, they pay you, they do everything. So what we are saying is this. Give us genuine the federalism, that we are going to take control of our region. We know the destiny of our region. We know the problems and predicaments of our region. Give us these powers. Let us take care of our region. You see how this region will develop. Give them 5 years. It will change.
My question to you.
Yes.
Are you saying that, you talk about genuine dialogue.
Yes.
Are you saying that what happened at the Grand Measure National
It was a
dialogue,
kangaroo and window dressing. There was nothing tangible that came out there to the satisfaction of the Anglophone who at the first. When Fundi stood up to speak, they pulled at him. When Kadinatumi stood up to speak, they pulled at him. So what are you talking about? And then the agenda they came with, federalism, it was thrown into the dustbin of history.
So you are saying that the special status is nothing?
No, I don't see it to be any hateway. I don't see it to
now,
be any...
briefly, before moving away from you,
yes.
You said every CPDM, though you later on corrected that with few exceptions,
yes.
are pretenders.
Pretenders.
You said they pretend as though they like the party, but they are going there for something. So are you accusing them of not liking the party?
Oh yes, that's a direct statement I'm making. That's a direct statement. I think 3/4 of them are pretenders.
And not liking their party?
Yes.
No, Mr.
Brief reaction before we go to...
The thing is that people think that everything that comes from the CPDM is wrong, and they don't see any good in it, which is very wrong. We might not be moving at the pace that people expect the country to move, but I want to tell you that Cameroon is making some progress. Not everything is bad. Because the thing is that many people they have that mind that anything that they see CPDM is wrong, is bad, and that has divided us into two. So much so that when most people in the CPDM, they say anything that comes from the opposition, they say it's wrong. That is not the way we can build a nation. The only way we can build a nation is that we should be able to look at some certain things and see some goodness in those things.
Well, you agree?
Yes, see some goodness in those things. It's not like we don't look at everything as bad.
But he said most of your people don't like their party. Is it true?
Pretenders.
No, that is his personal opinion. But I don't think that people are there that have complained to you that they don't like the party. That is a personal opinion. It's not like some people to be in the SDF, they don't like the party. Because I discovered that most of his militant, as soon as they have...
What will they gain if they don't like
as soon as they have small problem in the SDF, they will run and come and join us in the CPDM.
No.
And that has happened in many cases.
Okay, we'll move to other members of the panel. Greetings to you in the studio. There is no genuine elite in Northwest and Southwest now. Pretenders. People are still waiting for results. I am afraid. This one coming from Kumba. Siri from Kumba says, good afternoon in the studio. I want to participate. What we have achieved in this period of crisis in Anglophone, nothing has been achieved. Instead, the military using the crisis to make their money. How can you imagine that a driver is asked to settle control at 7 p.m., even bikes as well? What can I say? What I can say is nothing has been achieved so far. This is coming from Siri. This one says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I think a lot has been achieved. Some of those things are the cosmetic things that have been achieved. But for us to achieve real things, the nation must come to a genuine and frank dialogue and resolve the situation. This other one says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I doubt if those in Yaoundé do watch your program on their TV station, because you have provided a lot of solutions which even without a major national dialogue, if implemented, the country will move on history. This is coming from Donatus, writing from Douala. Ignatius, we are 7 years. They used to stand by the pretext that nothing has been achieved, because he says at least there have been a reawakening of some people knowing that there's an Anglophone crisis and knowing the history of that nation. And some supporters of the the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement and elite have been quick to point out that we've been achievement. Mr. Clement Vitaj said we are making some kind of progress, though it may not be as fast as many would say, but that there is a bit of progress.
Yes, I will still repeat my statement that nothing has been achieved. But before continuing, there's something I would like us to understand. Just like Mr. Suleiman said, concerning dialogue, we should learn to differentiate between dialogue and national conference. Remember, since 1990, that Funde has been singing something called National Conference. National Conference, they never listened to him. What took place in Yaoundé was the National Conference. National Conference means that sons and daughters from all the corners of the country should sit together and discuss issues that concern the country. Somebody has been singing it for more than 20 years. You refuse to listen to him. And when the war came, they brought the national conference and replaced it and called it as a dialogue. No, a dialogue is you discuss with the person who is bringing trouble, the person who is angry. Dialogue is between the opposition, the person who is opposing you, and the authority of the country. So that's why I just wanted to make it clear. But now, to come to what, as your question, whether we have achieved nothing, I still repeat to say that we have not achieved anything, even though some decisions have been taken. Just like those, Sir Suleiman said, like concerning the Supreme Court and the rest. But Javis, I have a fear that some of these things that have been created, the commission, the decisions, some of these things, if it happens that one day this war come to the end, these things will be reversed. Because these things are just, they are like a painkiller to bring down as a solution to stop the war. Why? I can take an example. Before reunification, there were conditions that President Ahidjo accepted just because he wanted the Anglophone to accept the union. You notice that immediately after reunification, there are some of those things. He accepted vice president just because he knew that if I start opposing from here, these people will foresee that there will be trouble. There are certain, so the way the government is behaving is showing that when this war ends, these decisions will never be respected. If not, they would have, they could have taken the proposals that are given by the government, by the Cameroonians who are proposing how to solve the solution, but the government takes their own, which they think it is the best. One, when you see the firefighters, when there's fire somewhere, when they arrive, they always find the source of the fire. They don't go where there is flame, trying to spray water everywhere. They go to the source. That is what we are proposing, that the government, the solution the government is taking to end the war, they are not going to the source. They are instead, they are trying to quench some of the result, the consequences of the crisis. So if the government is dodging from the real solution, it makes me to feel that nothing will, at the end of the crisis, things will go worse. So nothing has been achieved at all.
Now, you raise issues. First, you said what happened in Yaoundé was a national conference and not a major national dialogue. And that you said dialogue should be between those who are causing the trouble as well as those who have been affected by the trouble. Yes. But in Yaoundé, the elite will tell you, and some CPDM militants and Cameroonians of goodwill will tell you that those who caused this trouble were invited in Yaoundé, ranging from Padi Asanga and part of those also from Juvett. We had a series of diasporans who were at the major national dialogue, and that we had also the defunct consortium leaders who were also invited in the major national dialogue. Somebody like Agobala, Barrister Agobala and Congo Felix was also there, and that we also have key stakeholders in the northwest and southwest region who feel the heat, like Chairman John Frundi, like also the proponent of the All Anglophone Conference, Bishop Cardinal Tumi, who is of blessed memory, Cardinal Tumi, who is of blessed memory, and that we also had key political and religious stakeholders of the northwest who were present. Do you still think that are these not measures where they could dialogue and you still call it a national conference?
Those people, their place is recognized. You see, if there was no war, those were supposed to be the people to represent us. Those are the people that were recognized before the crisis, like the Cardinal, Frundi, and the rest. But we are talking in a situation where two regions have been taken hostage. So Frundi, Agobala, they are not the one commanding the boys carrying. But
we had separatist leaders who attended the conference, and invitations were given to some of these separatist leaders. Example, Padi Asanga Padi Asanga was there, and Padi Asanga was there. We had Diver, we had also members who were frontline supporters of separation.
Javi, you and I will know that if we are to attack this crisis from the core, somebody like the person who is in prison, Ayoktabe was supposed to be there.
Yes.
Somebody like
okay, we had Yannick Kawakawa Yannick.
Yeah,
we had Yannick Kawakawa who
that kind
controlled.
of English
No, it's not an issue of English. Nobody's perfect because English is not our thing. We had Kawakawa Yannick. We have separatist fighters who dropped their guns that same day and attended the dialogue. You still call it a national conference?
When you cross the line, you are not more in the party. Those people, those were not considered again like the separatist fighters. These are people that were taken out of the how do we call that? Disarmament. Yeah, they have crossed the line. Javis, the person commanding the people on the ground, Ayabacho.
But they were giving invitations.
We have the others. So
but they were giving invitations.
You and I will
you react. You know, I will come to you.
I would like you to understand that when you hold a cane, you call your own dog, it will not come closer to you. Your dog will not recognize you.
But those
when
who
you hold a cane and you call your dog,
but those who came, they were never
arrested.
I am saying those who came, they were never arrested.
No, those were not the raid. I'm saying that those who came were not representing the separatist fighters. So they could not. No, you call personalities that I respect, but I don't propose them to represent the separatists like Aguabara. Those are people that I respect too much. But if you ask my opinion, any question that concerns the separatists, I will not propose Aguabara to
okay, I stay with you
because
briefly
they don't
before coming
listen
to innocent.
Yeah, they don't listen
I stay with you briefly.
Yes.
You said the government of Cameroon is not attacking this issue head on.
Yes.
They are not going to the source. But the government of Cameroon will tell you that they sent elite to Diaspora, groups of elite to Diaspora, to meet some of these leaders. Some of these leaders of the separatists attacked this elite in France. I remember some were attacked in France. Is that not going to the source? What else should the government do?
Do you agree that some of these separatists themselves have come on air to propose that they want dialogue? If they really, those who went there to represent the government came with their clear minds, they could have welcomed them.
Now you have
they themselves proposed
mind.
that they want dialogue, which means that those who went there went with an agenda. They went with some proposal that they wanted to impose on them, but I don't know what. I know that something. I don't know their discussion, the details of their discussion.
What do you mean by clear mind? Because we saw how the government dispatched millions to people to meet these stakeholders, to see how they can dialogue with them, how they can have an amicable settlement or meet a common point to resolve this conflict. Senator Melamoki was one of them. We had a lot of prominent elites who went out to talk to these people in their comfort zone before the Grand National Dialogue.
These very people...
No, let him lie.
Okay, you know this. You and I, we have been following up. We follow up the reactions of these guys abroad. The names you are calling are the names they are criticizing there. There are certain faces that they don't like. They don't like. If you take somebody like our present minister of the territorial administration and send to people who consider him as an enemy, then there's no seriousness there. You see, the government is trying to make a step in a wrong way. They are taking a wrong method.
Okay.
Yes.
Innocent, you wanted to react.
Yes, you are talking of national dialogue. If I have a problem with Mr. Ignatius, I don't see how, even he's my boss, maybe I'm working in a company, he's my boss, I have a problem with him. I don't see how he will appoint somebody to come and be the chairperson of the dialogue between the two of us. The Cameroon government appointed the president, appointed the prime minister to be the chairman of the national dialogue. Now, then he was inviting now his opponents to come for the dialogue, of which he are in the same country, of which he has the powers to arrest them. And that was a plot to arrest some of them if they came. People like Pazia Sanga that you was talking about, Pazia Sanga was not, the truth is that I was saying that what have they benefited? That dialogue was just to compensate some people. It was just like a means to give some people's money to feed fat. And that's what we were talking about, because nothing was realized in that dialogue. But notwithstanding, as Mr. Suleiman said, the government, at least now, the government has acknowledged the fact that there is an Anglophone problem. And now I want to bring a scenario here that if I have a problem, if you are my brother and my father is dead, and you are saying that I am not your Nepal family because you don't want to give my own property, if I fight until when you accept, just accepting that I'm part of that family, that is an achievement. So what I'm trying to say is that although the special status, the House of Chiefs, is not yet the way it was before, At least that is an achievement. Because from there now we can work on that.
So you are now confirming that there have been a kind of achievement.
Yes, there have been a kind of achievement. even the regional assembly, there is kind of achievement. But and that is why you see that Mr. Ignatius, the fear is that if this crisis stop now, most of these things can be reversed. That is why you see that these guys in the bush, they don't attack the way they were attacking in 2018.
What can be reversed?
The House of Chiefs.
You don't trust the government.
No, see. Look at it is that in Africa, I'm yet to see a government in Africa that you will trust. Because Africans are government, they are power mongers. Because they want that power should centralize. Because since they are embezzling the money, our money is coming to them, they are embezzling. They are afraid that that money now can go to other people. Now, for instance, I said decentralization. They signed that this thing in 1996 Constitution up to 2013 because of this crisis. And I said they should accelerate the decentralization. What happened? Still now, everything is still in Yaoundé. If you leave NS, your appointment, they send you from Yaoundé. Everything, because there was a time that they give the power to the regional delegate, but now everything is in Yaoundé. So you discover that Yaoundé, there are power mongers there, and they want that everything should be revolting around them. So they have achieved that. Even the Disarmament Commission, I want to actually, at least that was a good move by the government. At least that is an achievement. But now, to me, I can rephrase that topic, that the achievement at what cost? How many people died before the government instituted the House of Chiefs that was seen before? How many people died? That's the first thing. The government first. The truth is that we are not illiterate. This is the 21st century, and most Cameroonians are enlightened. When Cameroon joined, there was when Southern Cameroon joined the West Cameroon, or the East Cameroon, there was the Federal Republic of Cameroon. After was the United Republic of Cameroon. The current president came and changed the name, the Republic of Cameroon. The name which French Cameroon had when they achieved their independence. The first is that what is possible for because anything that they want to change, they can change.
Okay, let me do a follow-up. You have gone where I wanted you to land. You are saying that this special status, this accelerated decentralization, this creation of House of Chiefs, the creation of divisional assembly, the redistribution of teachers in the region of origin, the employment of 1,000 bilingual science teachers, the creation of the Commission of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism Commission, that all these things can be reversed in future, and you are therefore charging the government of not being truthful to people?
Yes, look,
are you charging the government of not being truthful?
Some of those things cannot be reversed.
No. My question straight to you is yes or no. Are you charging the government?
I cannot answer yes or no.
No, my question is yes or no. Are you charging the government of not being truthful?
No, it's not a matter of yes or no.
No, it's not bad. It's yes or no.
No. It cannot be a matter of yes or no. Because at the appointment of teachers, I have already posted teachers. They cannot bring them back. But concerning the regional House of Assembly, the regional House of Chiefs, please let me. The regional House of Chiefs, they can reverse it. Because a decree can be, because now like this, they are not even giving the powers.
Okay.
What is the governor doing when the regional house is holding their meetings? What is the
so you are lying to Mr. Sulaiman?
Yes, what is the SGO doing with when the councillors are having their meetings?
Okay, I think when we are on a platform like this, we should be able to educate the people who are watching us out there. When we talk about this issue of dialogue, I want to believe that some Anglophones are very disappointed with those people you call who say they are in the diaspora. When you listen to what they do or what they say, you discover that they fight amongst themselves more than they fight against the government. And that is where we have a problem of, because you look at it, the ambassador now, the so-called ambassador, they have more than 4 presidents now who are out there. Most of the Anglophones on ground zero will tell you that they are so disappointed with those in the diaspora, which is very true. I think that if we want to solve this problem, those who are feeling the pains, those who are on the ground, should be those who have the greatest say. I don't think that somebody who lives in the United States of America, who does not even feel the pains that our parents are feeling back home,
will come and decide a fair judgment on us. Because
that's what has been done.
if there is no solution, you will not expect somebody in the United States who is not feeling the pains to come and give you a solution to a problem that you are the one feeling the pains. That's the truth. Because when you watch that, they have more than Ambassador now have more than 5 national televisions, and I watch all of them. They don't give their program is either Chris Anu is insulting Komosako, or Komosako is insulting Chris Anu, or Chris Anu insulting Maranta, and Maranta is insulting Chris Anu. So
Akuru.
Yes, or Akuru. Yes. So they
Oyaba is this way.
Yes, they don't have a common. They don't have a common front where they are fighting for the liberation of their people. So it is a matter of, when you look at it critically, discover that it's a matter of personal gains. Chris Anu had what he wants to gain personally. Sako has what he wants to gain personally. Maranta and the rest, Akuru, Chua, all of them. So we are now in a state of confusion. I want to believe that we want to have a solution to our crisis. Those on the ground who are feeling the pains should be those who should decide on their fate, not those who are living in the United States and other places in Europe.
Thank you. Mr. Javis, good morning. This is coming from Ben Ali, a member of our team, House of Commons. Ben Ali says, Mr. Javis, please take it slow on Mr. Ignatius. Of course, I've taken it slow on Mr. Ignatius. He says, Mr. Javis, good morning. We want the government to apologize. Second, we want the chiefs of the Northwest and Southwest elite to go down with the situation by discussing with to go down and discuss with their children to drop their arms. Thank you very much. This one right, it says, good day to you at House of Commons, Mr. Javis. Let's set record straight. Padi Asanga had never been a separatist leader nor any other persons at the Diaspora who attended the Grand Measure National Dialogue. All separatist leaders such as Dr. Cho Ayaba, Chris Anu, Dr. Sako Ikome, Eric Tato, Jomba Akuru, Ebenezer Akwangwa, Mark Barata, etc. have international warrants of arrest issued against them, and these warrants were never annulled by the government prior to the invitation to attend the dialogue. The warrants are still valid till date, so how could you expect them to honor such an invite, even if they are flock of sheep? And this is coming from an anonymous writer. This right, it says, good afternoon and happy Sunday, Mr. Javis and the panelists. I am very happy with Mr. Sulaiman in the studio. He's very true. There is no patriotic CPDM man. They are those killing this country, except Dr. Ningwanyam. The worst are those so-called Anglophone ministers. This is coming from Felix in Bamenda. This right says a strong point of view by Mr. Sulaiman. Make an Anglophone the head of state and everything will return normal. Mr. Allen writing from my Limbe. This already says, good afternoon, Mr. Mai. I like your program, especially the way you talk. You always say it as it is. I just want to say nothing good can come out of CPDM. They always sell the goat and hold the rope. Or what they have created after the national monologue is a window dressing. J-Boy in Bamenda. J-Boy, thank you very much. He says, good day. Thank you very much, J-Boy. This is all right. He says, good afternoon to you. Thank you, all of you in the studio. I am Mbang David writing from Muyuka. I just want to remind us all in this country that Anglophone people don't trust the so-called elite again. They have proven beyond reasonable doubt that all their efforts are for personal profits. They don't represent or do anything on our behalf. When the PM visited, these same people he came with from Yaoundé were the same people telling him what is happening in villages they have not been in since the crisis began. This one writes, Grace from Bengui, Grace Farming from Bamenda. Thank you very much. We've gotten your message. This one reads, it says, good afternoon to you all in the studio. Cameroonians, both from the French and English part of the country, love themselves so much. This can be seen from football, marriages, and open friendlies. The only country doing everything possible to separate to separate us is France, and this is to achieve their personal interest. This is coming from Christy in Bolowa. Good afternoon, sir. I am watching House of Commons, and it's very interesting. No achievement because thousands of people are arrested in jail, millions still suffering, refugees, IDPs. Many have died and are still dying. The money spent in the war could be used to construct good roads, provide water, hospitals, and schools. This is coming from an anonymous sender. Mr. Sulaiman, I come back to you. You raised an issue that that nothing concrete has been achieved so far, and you said that the government is not doing a lot to resolve this conflict, and you charged most of the CPDM militants of not being objective. You are in Kumba. What will you say have been some of the fallout from the dialogue in terms of achievement? Do you people in Kumba feel the points raised by Cameroon's ministers of first, I'll read it again, because you are from ground zero. A lot of these things that Cameroon ministers say, that we have the House of Chiefs, we have translation of OHADA, we have the creation of the Common Law Bench at the Supreme Court, we have the redistribution of teachers in their region of origin, we have the dropping of arms in what has been known as disarmament demobilization. Do you people feel these things in Kumba? Bilingualism?
We are not. Because the basic fundamental problem is that they are highlighting what they have achieved. But we know that there are some fundamental issues that they have willfully dodged it, escaped from it, from easy. For one, tribalism. They don't talk about tribalism. But you see tribalism all round. From the police, from the water, from the army, everything tribalism. They dominate everything. Even government ministers, they dominate everything. That one, they don't talk about that one. They only go on miscellaneous issues and talking. Let me tell you in Kumba, the only thing that every Kumba man can be happy with the CPDM is that they have transformed our hospital into a regional, they're giving it a regional status.
We are not talking about CPD, we are talking about.
Okay, I'm telling you, that is the only thing that we can be happy with it. But anything about, well, all the rest are all cosmetics.
You seem to have a problem with CPD.
No.
Because we're talking about Anglophone guys.
No, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Javis. All those things that you have named like that, bilingualism, demobilization, OHADA, blah, blah, blah. All those things are all cosmetics. If you go in the real application of it, in real practicability of it, it is not found there. It is not there. You see, because the war is continued at infinitum. The war is still going at infinitum. We don't know where it will end. And the guys are doing their own, the military are doing their own. So where do we stand? The only solution to this problem, let me tell you, if you want us, I have proposed, why are you keeping Ayutthaya in jail up to now? When the international community has called that you should let him go. And his 9 others.
Minister Paul Latangani said Cameroon is a state of law.
Who told you that?
And that Minister Paul Latangani said Cameroon is a state of law.
They say he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So if he made that statement, you know why he's making that statement. Release Seseko Ayoktabi. When you release Seseko Ayoktabi, let me tell you, those at ground zero, 75% of them will lay down their arms without nobody telling them to lay their arms. If you release Seseko 9 others, Fontaines, Mancho BBC, if you leave this
why only Siseko Ayoktabe when
because he is
hundreds of Anglophones
he is
in
a
detention,
he is
or thousands?
That was all of them. I say Siseko Ayoktabe, Mancho BBC, Fontaines, and all, and release them. When you release them, I bet you nobody will tell those guys at Batuma, at Forba Kundu, at Bongé to lay their arms. They will lay down the arms because they believe in them that these are the real strugglers. These are the guys who started the fight, and these guys have come out to solve the problem. Okay. And let me tell you something. If the government release Seseko Ayoktabi today, I'm telling you, the entire manual division will just keep silent.
Okay, let me do a follow-up. You said Seseko Tabe and Co should be released.
Yes.
If they are released, all the detainees are released.
Yes.
All are released.
Yes.
Will that still address the root cause of this problem?
85% or 90% of the problem has been solved.
How?
Because these guys now will come on now and face the government and tell the government the blatant truth. Because they started the truth.
So it's not just all about releasing, it's releasing to dialogue.
But that's the point now. That's the only way forward. That's the only way forward, that's the only way out. That's the roadmap. You just, if you release Ayusha, go now to dialogue with him, he will tell you the real issue on the ground. He was arrested, he started these things. He started it. And therefore, he has maybe a temporary solution to this problem. Come and get him out. If you get him out, you will see how this thing will go in a very straightforward manner. That every Anglophone will understand, will know that yes, true, that this government is beginning to reason out, is beginning to think positively. That power of positivity has come onto the government.
When you say this government is beginning to be thinking out, beginning to be reasonable, are you by chance saying that the government has not been reasonable? Or are you saying that we are an unreasonable government?
I have told you that from inception that whatever step they take is cosmetic.
No. Yeah, no, I'm asking you a close-ended. No, I'm asking you a close-ended question. You said when they are released, it means that the government will begin to be a bit reasonable.
Yes.
Are you by chance saying
yes, they're
that?
unreasonable.
They
are unreasonable. I'm giving you answer. They're unreasonable.
But you cannot call the government unreasonable where the same government has been providing peace and security for its people, and we are here.
That why it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. When you talk about peace and security, it's entirely a different ball game.
We have the COVID-19 government distributed.
For what we are discussing today, it's a different ball game. What we are discussing today, the topic today is about achievement. So when you talk about peace and security, it's a different ball game.
Okay, so to you, what the government measures in the north and southwest have not been quite reasonable.
That's what I'm telling you. So I am telling you that so far what the government has taken, they're all window dressing, they're all kangaroo.
The SDF position now in this. What is the SDF position? What's the SDF position proposing in this? If you say what the government has been doing is unreasonable.
The SDF has a position. One, they want federalism as a way to resolve this crisis. That one has been dumped into the office. It has been rejected completely. They brought decentralization. So at least SDF again has no say. Because what they are doing now, SDF does not even consider it to be anything. Give us federalism. Let us solve our problem. We know our problems. We know our difficulties. We know our predicaments. Give us the chance to sit down and talk and develop our region. You will see challenges among regions. They are fighting among themselves to develop their region. There will be growth and development, prosperity and progress, advancement of the region. You will see it everywhere. But with this type of government-owned agenda that is designed towards only their own way of doing things, it cannot bail us out.
We have heard ministers say that we are part of the government.
You are calling people minister. Who are the ministers? I didn't know appointed by the. I mean, he who holds this man holds the knife and the yam and cut it the way he likes. So when you are calling ministers, I mean, don't
briefly before I go to I'm sure it's Ignatius briefly. You said they should give us federation.
Yes, that's the position of my party.
Now, yes, the position of the Social Democratic Front is federation. Now, I want to ask you this. If this federation is given, looking at the reality of Anglophones fighting against Anglophones, looking at the reality of Anglophones kidnapping Anglophones, looking at the realities of the great Anglophone divide in the Northwest and the Southwest region, are you sure that federalism, in which form, will solve this problem?
Let me tell you something. If you give us federalism, we are going to draw a good constitution, a federal constitution that will entail federalism, that will protect minority rights, that will protect a native right, that will protect other rights. So under federalism, what guides us is a federal constitution. We have to come up with a federal constitution that will encompass everything to make us succeed. So if you are talking about if they give federalism, we have to go. They have to appoint a constitution drafting committee under a federal structure, so that we come out a federal way, so that we can now solve our problems.
But we had federalism, but we still had the Anglophone crisis.
What federalism do you have?
Before we had federalism, no, Mr. Let me. You answer that. In 1st of October 1961. We came out together as a federal state.
But that Anglophone crisis has not come up.
Yeah, but many say that Anglophone crisis started within 1961. That we had the
problem. No, it started in 2016.
No. They said we had the problem with.
Who said so?
No, they said we had the problem with the independent conciliator, who had fought with Augustine Gumjua, that the independent conciliator still had powers.
You cannot compare 1961 and 2016.
Okay.
You cannot compare these
two. We'll come back to the message and go to Ignatius. Let's be true to ourselves on this platform. Even you guys are not speaking the truth. Southern Cameroon are very intelligent. You guys should know this. This is coming from Albert Bibi. Albert Bibi. This are Mark Amos Andy says, hello guys, Javis, you need to allow the panelists to develop their point. Of course, I am allowing them to develop their point. This one, right, he says, let me tell you, Anglo, that today the name Anglo did not come from nothing. Anglo, the reason I'm quoting because it's an insult. It's an insulting phrase that you use there. Dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. Who will the government dialogue with? That's their question. The government probably are arresting those to dialogue with and put them in their constitution. Thank you very much. You know, when you write us, please be a bit civil, because we are talking. We cannot take hate languages and broadcast on national television. You can still talk without insulting. You can still objectively criticize without insulting. Martin, Chair, I'm talking to you. You can still objectively give your point without insulting. Good morning, House of Commons. Robert Nyam watching from the United States. Robert Nyam, happy Sunday to you. He is a member of our team House of Commons on the WhatsApp group. I want to say happy Sunday to you, Mr. Nyam Robert from the United States of America. We have a lot of messages which have been sent to us. Please permit us to read some of them. This one says, good afternoon to you on the studio. Please ask the CPDM man who is saying there that Chris Anu Ayabacho, Sako etc. Were all invited to the national monologue and that they did not attend. I want to ask him that Sisoko and Co, who were illegally kidnapped from Nigeria, were in the prison during the monologue. They couldn't bring them out to attend, but expected more people to come from Diaspora to come and fall into their dragnet. If he was one of the Diaspora, will he have gone to Yaoundé to attend? This is coming from Divine Writing from Victoria. I'll ask you that question, that you address that. I'll note it down. This one, right? It says, hello, Mr. Javis. Anybody who think that Cameroon is one is stupid and useless. What we live in daily basis. Look at the national football team in Qatar. How many Anglophone players are there? Talk about the supporters. What Fekafu took to support them. We still settle on nothing. Then this is coming from, I am Jane from Singapore. Jane, thank you for writing. You know, there are some things that when you see I have to censor them because of the fact that we are on national television. We cannot just permit insult to go like that. So please put your point moderately. We'll read your messages. Please pen down. Okay, it has been noted. Good afternoon to you all. When you tell lies, even to yourself, you intend another person to tell you the truth. This is coming from Andrew. Andrew, this one reads, says, good afternoon. I feel the pain on ground zero. Good afternoon to you all in the studio. What my brother said about our brothers infighting is true. Too bad we feel the pain in ground zero and not them. This is coming from Kitang from Bamenda. He says what Mr. Vitali said is true, that they are the ones feeling the pain. Good afternoon. I love your program. Good afternoon, I love your program. I am called Clarence Hughes from Bamenda. I was arrested on the 22nd of September 2017 and finally released 3 years after. 3 years, 6 months after suffering in Kundengi, all because I was an Anglophone. Many innocent Anglophones are dying in prison. If the government really wants to stop this crisis, the government should release all Anglophones before a genuine reconciliation can take place. The government really know how to tackle this problem. All they are doing is about cosmetic solutions. Amber is going up every day by day. This is coming from an anonymous sender. This one reads, it says, greetings to you all in the studio. It is a wonderful program. In my humble opinion, I don't see the Anglophone crisis anytime soon. The powers that be is simply playing for time. After all, some are saying that Anglophones are killing themselves. Anglophones are killing themselves. After all, Anglophones are killing themselves. All of them continue to die. All they will die. Whatever division happening within the diaspora is simply dividing and ruling, masterminded by powers that be. The whole thing is a module. It is an act of God. It is an act of God who will save us. This is coming from Metongo from Edinong. You wanted to react?
Yes, I wanted to in the last speaker spoke, we mentioned about this decentralization. And this word is what most of our elites have been using as one of the achievements that the government has intensified decentralization. I would like also to understand, there is an experience that 2 patients went to a doctor. They complained. The doctor gave them the same drug and said that that this drug, you will take it. It is going to cause you running stomach that will wash your system. The doctor took the raised powder that will cause running stomach, and then to the other patient, he took blood chalk, grinded it, and gave to the other patient. All of them went and they had running stomach. Why am I saying this? I'm saying that what Cameroonians have suffered from the hands of decentralization. If the government thinks that decentralization will ever make Cameroonians to be satisfied, it is a lie. Decentralization is not a bad government. It is working in countries like France. But what we have suffered from decentralization. Even the government does what? It is not, people will never be satisfied. They will not know that it is a good step taken. So the government should begin to think of taking other proposals that have been given, like what Mr. Suleiman said, and what Dr. Nick always proposed here as a confederation. That's just a comment I wanted to make concerning the form of government. And then to continue with, they say, when we say, when the program was beginning, I said that your question said that many steps have been taken in order to find a solution but there are certain things that we still see very funny on the ground. Like I said from the beginning of the program, that we have decisions that have been taken by the separatists and it is working on the ground. Like the cancellation of the CEMAC number plate. If the government was really conscious,
are you sure if you go down to Bamenda will not see CEMAC number plate?
Go there and see. You come back and tell me the result. When you are traveling just from Bonaberi, as you are traveling towards the west, those vehicles that are going to the northwest, those that will end in the west region, you will know. Those that are going right to the northwest region, you identify them on the road. You would think that when I was there in the bus, I thought that they were, when these cars that are for sale. I thought that it is when I was in the northwest that I realized that they respect that law. Even the government authorities respect it. So how can you the government see? Javis, let me propose something. When we want to solve a problem, we leave pride aside.
But wait, Minister Paul Atanganji said he said that we have just a pocket of resistance, which are in the northwest and southwest, and he has called for the voices in the bushes. No, you are using voices. He has called for the boys in the bushes to drop their arms, and that they are dropping their arms on a daily basis.
Had it been they dropped their arms, what happened that a whole state, part of the state is respecting a law that is coming from somewhere? Javis, maybe you think that's propaganda. CEMAC number plate is not existing in the north. I've not been to combat this time yet. Go there and verify it. The authorities themselves are respecting it. So I was saying that when we want to solve a problem, we leave pride aside. What is disturbing this thing? Because the government is taking pride ahead of it. So our government is like somebody who is hitting their chest and the trouser is falling down and you are there hitting their chest, because we see failures on the ground and the government keep on pronouncing things that we don't see the reality. Let the government leave pride aside and let us bring the real solution to the crisis. Javis, we are feeling the pains, as you said. We feel the people who are on the ground. They are suffering really.
Are you not part of the government?
That's why I'm part of the government. So but I'm very disappointed that the government does not listen to our proposals. Our government thinks that the best proposal comes from the authorities and the members of the ruling party. Okay,
Mr. Kimbeng, you have been in Bamenda, but before that, somebody raised an issue that if you are one of, I'll come to Kimbeng before I come to you briefly. I just totally forgot I was to come to you before moving to Ignatius. It was just an error, so I want to come to him before coming to you. Mr. Kimbeng, somebody raised an issue that if you were one of those separatist leaders, would you have come to Cameroon to attend the Grand Measure National Dialogue, taking into consideration that Akeba and co, who were already in Cameroon, would have just been taken to the Measure National Dialogue than someone who is far from Cameroon?
Sincerely, if I'm one of them, I will not come. But the person did not listen to me well. My cry has always been that we as Anglophone we have a problem. The only way forward to our problem is that we should galvanize in one force. We are not saying that we should separate the country. We should galvanize in one force and put our problem as one person to the government. If you listen to what Tebonagi said, he told most of the Anglophone separatists, he said that no credible organization out of Cameroon or out of Africa can support the Anglophone crisis, the struggle, because they are in factions.
they keep on fighting each other every day. It's as if they are not fighting for the liberation for the sake of the people, but they are fighting for themselves. And that is why, sincerely, when you go to the ground, you see there's a lot of kidnapping. People are feeling peace. There's a lot of kidnapping. There's a lot of killings that you don't even understand. Sincerely, you said about the number plate. It's true. I go to Bamenda every day.
I was about to ask you that.
You cannot find a Semang number plate in Bamenda. What I always say is that, like, government should look for a better solution to this crisis. A better solution. I've said it on several cases that we cannot depend on the dialogue that was held in Yaoundé, because the dialogue did not produce enough reasons, enough solutions to the problem. It didn't provide enough solutions to the problems. The fact that people don't put number plates in Bamenda might not be because they respect the separatists, it's because of fear. Insecurity.
But there is no government way says that they are provided enough security.
No, I would differ with that, because there is no way that government is going to send a military man to guide each and everybody. There is no way.
And the government are also called on the people of Bamenda to collaborate.
If there are, let's say, 1 million people in Bamenda, you don't expect government to send 1 million soldiers to move behind each and everybody. There is a lot of fear up there. A lot of fear.
If you disobey the government decision, what will happen to you? You will be arrested.
Yes.
Is that not fear?
There is you can be arrested, but in this case, government. In this case, it's not a matter of arrested. Some people have confessed that for the voices to arrest you, better than military, because people in the diaspora, sincerely, they have failed the Anglophone.
Okay.
Woefully, with their infighting. So the Anglophones who are on the ground, they don't more trust them again.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hi, Javis. My point is that that of the government is not my point is that of the government is serious to solve the problem. They should put all measures in order to hold dialogue. No subject should be a taboo. Thank you, Jane. Thank you now for writing. At least I can read that one. Greetings to you, House of Commons. I must say, 6 years that the war, no achievement have been made, because everything that the government is trying to do, which they will never do, were already existing in southern Cameroon before it was stolen. The government has to stop wasting life and go to dialogue with Sise Kotabe after his release. Without this act of goodwill, no solution will come, and will only facilitate a separation of that. I want to make you understand there is no peace in Cameroon. Citizens, especially Anglophone, live in constant fear. If the press cannot do their job without being arrested, they try and sometimes kill what do you call peace. When you mention people like Agobala who reside in Boya and ignores the excesses of the so-called Moja, he cannot use his influence to bring the government to punish him. I think this is not true. Agobala and co have been talking about excesses through his NGO. Agobala and his NGO has also been releasing documents as far as abuse of both the government and also the armed separatists is concerned. It's not true. We have read communiques of Agobala taking that. What is the way forward to resolve this crisis and for achievements to benefit the nation? Innocent.
Yes, let me react to what Mr. Suleiman said. He said one of the ways to solve the Anglophone problem is to make an Anglophone a president. In a democracy, they don't make you a president. They elect you to be a president. And to the best of our knowledge, I know that there are Anglophone parties which were created by Anglophones, but they are not actually Anglophones parties, like SDF, APP. APP existed before, because I can say SDF has already maybe got to the maturity stage. But APP existed before MRC. But MRC now, most Anglophones now left the Anglophone party created by their own person and decided to join a party created by another person by some point from this. So how can, for Anglophone to be a president, they need to create a party that will have the support of all Cameroonians that will be able to elect the Anglophone to be president. But you see that even an Anglophone start a party, Anglophones themselves will not support the Anglophone. So you cannot say they should make, it's not like they don't appoint president. They are supposed to elect. And so another thing too is also that they are talking of there are many fractions. Thabo Nagi himself, he knows very well. They should pressurize the government to release people like Ayok Tabe, because all these Christians knew. There are the other ones. When Ayok Tabe was out, even in Nigeria, you were not hearing them. It was only when Ayok Tabe was arrested and locked in prison, that's why you start hearing Chris Anu, Mark Barata, and everybody started making fractions. If they remove Ayok Tabe now, all those fractions will stop. They just it's just like a country without a leader. That's why everybody is coming up. So they should release the Ayok Tabe first, and you see that all these fractions will stop. And I want to also say that the achievements which these Anglophone brothers have achieved, they have succeeded to make some of us not to go to our regions again. Because they said they are fighting for the liberation of Anglophones, but they are killing the same Anglophones on daily basis. I'm sure all of us here we are victims in one way or the other. Either they kill our friends, they kill our brother, they have kidnapped our brother, they have killed our sister, our mother, something. So most people are afraid to go to the regions. And also they were also decided, they are also made to create an animosity, discord among Anglophones. Because now the government has infiltrated the crisis. They are making Christian to be against Ayabacho, Mark Barata to be against this one, Eric Tato to be against this one, all of the left of them. And even if this crisis is resolved now, I don't see how Anglophones will be able to actually come together as a united people again as they were before, because this thing has created a lot of. I even watched social media. One of the separatist fighters that left, he was talking, using hate speech against the Northwest. He's a Southwesterner. So this crisis, these boys have succeeded to actually destroy the unity we were trying to build, and the government also is not doing. The government has struggled to stay mute, to stay as if they don't consent. Because after all, I listened to one national channel, one television channel. The journalist was saying that these boys, they know where the generals are, they know where the military are, they know where the ministers are. They should go there. But they are killing grandmothers, killing children, killing people on daily basis. They cannot, and that is why you see the government is just saying and say, after all, you are killing by your own. It doesn't concern the government. So the way forward for this crisis to end is that the government should take a bold step. I know that in Africa, there is, but if actually the government actually has something, let me say something here. Mr. Suleiman said CPDM people are hypocrites.
He said he later corrected that.
Pretenders, and it's true. It's true, because I witnessed in Boya. There was one election, I'm sure that was around 19.
Why are people against CPDM?
No, let me say it. Around 19 something.
It's not about CPDM, please.
Wait, let me say something. Let me say, I want to accept, I was 1970 something, when there was an election. The person who was representing CPDM there was a delegate, and they appointed me a delegate because of CPDM. But in that polling station, CPDM did not have one vote. So they told him that, so even you did not even vote CPDM. And he was fired because of that.
Okay, yes, we are out of time. Good day, Mr. Javis and panelists. The United Nations have asked the common government to release Siseko Ayok Tabe and to prove that all government is doing is cosmetic solution. Don't we, Peter writing? This one reads, says, happy Sunday to our brother, our mouthpiece. The government and the Anglophone elite are willingly not ready are really not ready for this crisis to come to an end. Can you remember before the so-called national dialogue, the sample opinions and wishes of Anglophones and pick chiefs from all the divisions in the Anglophone regions, the request for federation, and when they got to Yaoundé, they play it in their favor. It is a complete charade. It's coming from Mario in Brazil. This right, it says, good morning, I am Glenn. I don't think the government needs peace, because if they really need peace, they would have laid down their arms. As well as cause the voices, as well as the voices cannot lay down their arms while the armed forces are still holding theirs. This one says, okay, your message is gotten. Good afternoon to the panel. My My brother, I am in the South region, and what I have seen here is more horrible than the two regions speaking in the Anglophone, than the two English-speaking regions. Come to Sangmalima and see the level of development there. Then you will know that these people are in a more serious problem than us. But it is very clear that we are more intelligent than them to fight for our rights. Thank you very much. Your message is gotten. It says, good day, sir, and happy Sunday to you, panelists, CPDM militants, and their government are capitalizing on infighting. How many churches do we have in Cameroon? Some are fighting each other. They are worshiping one God. The unity of purpose in which the importance of that should be noted. Okay, Godi, thank you. Your message is gotten. This one reads, it says, much has been achieved and much still being achieved. The true history of Cameroon is now being told and understood today more than ever before. That's why more and more people gaining the support of Southern Cameroon nationalists. Today, people understand the regime has told a lot of lies about 11 February. How is 11 February a youth day in Cameroon history? How can we say there is no achievement when government has now admitted the marginalization of the English-speaking structure of law, education, and is now pretending to realize that there is a good habit? This is Agbo writing from, thank you very much, from Limbe. Good afternoon to you in the house. Nothing has been achieved since the beginning of 2016. Instead, massive killings of our dear brothers. The president know what it takes to resolve this strategy. This is coming from Emma Elvis in Kumba. He says, Anglophone has not achieved anything, but rather our fellow French-speaking brothers have achieved more. Thank you very much. Ben writes that Mr. Suleiman, if the government release Ayuk Tabe and Co. and they are not against the peace, what will be next? Mr. Suleiman, what's the way forward? Briefly, we're out of time.
The way forward is still dialogue. The way forward, if there's no option, is dialogue. That's the way forward. We have to go for dialogue and discussion. We have to attack the bull by the horn by actually presenting all the facts on the table, all the facts on the table to discuss, irrespective of party affiliations, irrespective of which non-partisanship, so that for the benefit of Cameroon and for the interest of Cameroon, let's all issues to be tabled on the table for discussion, very openly, frankly, without any bias, without any hypocrisy. That is the only way out. And release other detainees. All these prisoners you have jailed up, Ayuk Tabe should be released. Others and all should be released. Even the Sandinans, they should be released. I mean, all those
national reconciliation.
Yes, national reconciliation. People like Council Anyangwe, people like Ayoba, people like Sako, people like Tato, people like Mark Barata, all those people, give them general amnesty. Let them come back and contribute to the growth and development of their country. Let them come back and meet their loved ones, and so that we talk issues out. But all these things, all these hanky-panky games, it will not resolve the matter.
What is your message to the peace-loving people of Kumba who are watching?
No, Kumba people, it's just that now at least we have got some relative calm. We have got some tentative peace. The town is full now. It is booming. So at least we thank God.
He said presidents are not appointed, that you want an Anglophone president.
Oh, yeah, you see, democratically, under a democratic system, first, you don't appoint president. Two, you don't do rotational presidency. You don't do rotational presidency. But again, that the circumstances of the situation on the ground determines whether you appoint or you go for rotational presidency, if that will bring peace.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. We are totally out of time. We want to thank you, Ignatius, for coming.
Yes, thank you. My message to the people on the two regions is that they should live, they should use personal initiative to survive there, because that zone is ungovernable. It's like the period where in Europe that there was no government. That's what is happening. You use personal initiative to survive there, because survivor is first before knowing what is going to take place.
Thank you, Mr. Suleiman, for coming. Okay, and of course, Mr. Vitalis, we want to thank you for coming, member of the Cameroon People Democratic Movement. Many are writing that they are not sure you're a CPDM militant.
No, people think that when you are in the CPDM, you should be a liar, which is false. At least we should be able to, we should be able to give the president the real facts on the ground, so that when he takes a decision, that decision can be felt by everybody.
Okay,
So
thank
at least you must not tell lies, because being a civilian is not a prerequisite for a lie teller.
Thank you for coming in, Osen.
Thank you.
Okay.
And happy Sunday to all the viewers and my fellow panelists.
Thank you very much, all those of you who took our time to watch us. You can be a member of our panel. You can join our conversation on the numbers on your screen, 6764313884. You contact me, I will include you into our WhatsApp group. You can be a member of our panel. If I put the topic within the week, if it's convenient to you, you can participate. Our office is open to you. You can come and talk instead of saying this person is not saying the truth, this person should have said this person should have said this person is afraid, as long as you will take responsibility for your statement. Thanks for watching every Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:30. You have a program, House of Commons. Thank you, Desmond, Akeba. And of course, thank you very much for my brother, the studio manager. I want to thank you all for watching. And I want to say bye-bye from this end. I leave you with this: no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you is that you should stay out of trouble.